What is up, creators? Welcome to one of the famous Friday live streams here on the channel. I'm your hostess with the mostess, Diana Gladney. Super pumped and excited to be here, as I always am. We have David Hunt, thedavidhuntofficial.com. Don't know if that's available, but we rocking with it. We rolling with it. What is going on? Elise CEO saying we live. ... We are. Good to see you. Kim Bucha saying, hey, I've missed these Friday streams. What a time to be alive. Indeed. What a fantastic time to be alive, breathing, eating wonderful, delicious things like white chocolate, having amazing drinks to soothe the soul like coffee, and hashtag all the things. What is going on in the kills? Good to see you. Glad that you are here. And so, man, what a fantastic Friday. Just hopped off the stream with Social Media Examiner, talking about some of the new and upcoming updates when it comes to YouTube. And it is just an awesome experience that the YouTube app is becoming these days. YouTube has transformed, I believe, the way that we consume content as a whole. And so they're introducing new things when it comes to YouTube Shorts. They're introducing new things when it comes to your YouTube analytics and helping you as a creator to catch people from different lanes. So even if they're used to short form content, you got shorts, you have stories, even on Instagram, you got like Instagram reels and stuff. But I think it's really interesting to watch YouTube, that is a video platform, now introduce short form content specifically in the vertical orientation, and see how users change, because it's not just about the apps. Like, I think a lot of times we'll see apps share features like the stories and stuff like that, and just seeing how people engage with it. But I think as consumers, our social behaviors have changed in how we engage with apps. So I'm curious, like, where do you go for stories? Where do you go just for, regular maybe photo or read based content? Like carousels and things like that, or what have you, graphics and whatnot. And where do you primarily go when it comes to like short form video? TikTok has got a ton of my attention. I've been not really, I guess I can say, experimenting with that in a way, because I've been posting content over there. And so recently had a YouTube video, not YouTube video, a short, not even a godly, all these names, a TikTok, golly, right, a TikTok. It was just a vertical video. That one crushed over 25,000 views. And all the other ones are tending to do really, really well. So I think when it comes to content, we're consuming content a little bit differently. So I'm curious to what questions and thoughts that you guys have in regards to that and just YouTube as a whole. Let's hop over to the comments saying, do you like my logo? I think it looks dope. Reminds me of, don't take this the wrong way, but it just kind of reminds me of, it's not Danny Phantom, it's the Fairly Odd Parents. So the little character Timmy kind of makes me think of that. So that's a good thing. So, but I think it's dope. Saints News Network, good to see you. Glad that you are here. But let's hop over. Let's see here. Okay, let's talk some YouTube stuff. So YouTube has been updating a lot of different things. Let me know. Put a number 1 in the chat if you have uploaded a YouTube short to your channel, and that's a video that's vertical orientation and 60 seconds or less. Put a 1 in the chat if you've uploaded a YouTube short before. It's okay if it's just been 1, but let me know if you've done that. You usually have to put a vertical video. You can upload it from desktop or from mobile, and it has to be 60 seconds or less. And in the title, you put hashtag shorts. So let's see here, saying true. That's a good thing. Saying, I signed up for the YouTube Creator Research Program a while back. Really cool to be able to get sneak peeks into upcoming changes and features. That's awesome. Yeah, I've seen where they have different stuff. I don't think I applied for that, just because it's like, I really didn't have much of a reason other than just like, I don't know, like time. But I think that's dope that you're doing that, because people that are actually creating do need to be the people that are actually like in those programs to let them know. Because it's one thing if like everybody uses YouTube differently, and how we expect to, like, if you're into quilting, knitting, or any of the crafts type of space, that creator space like that, then you expect people to produce a certain kind of content like in the maker space. So that's super dope and interesting. And I love that you're in there. So let me know how that goes. What's going on, Chris Giles? Good to see you. Chris throwing the one in there saying he's uploaded a YouTube short. Okay, put a number 2 if you haven't done a YouTube short before. Curious to see how that's going. Saying just got that shirt in the mail this week. Can't wait to wear it. Yeah, the create, post, repeat. Love this shirt coming in from Press and Sew. They're dope. So if you guys don't know, there is merch here available for the channel. Let's go over here real quick. So this is over here. If you go to Dyna.link/shop or merch, you can go to and see the collection over here on Press and Sew with the create, post, repeat shirt. We are rocking this one today. It's a lot of different colors. I'll tell you my favorite ones are this blue, this turquoise or teal looking one, and then of course like the black. The navy is cool. I like that one as well. I think I'm just a black t-shirt kind of person. And then of course the learn and do is there, and I love the create, post, repeat one. They have a different variation of that. So merch available if you want to check that out. So getting some numbers in here saying about 2, 2, 2, 2. Okay, so y'all haven't done a short before, and that's cool. I get it. Like some people are hesitant about it. And then the other thing is always like analytics and like how does that impact like your analytics from what you're doing. So what I'm going to do is go over here because it takes a minute, I think, for it to really hit the short shelf still, even though it just came to the US. So if you're in the United States, then you officially should have in your phone where you see at the bottom left, it'll be like the little S with the play button in it. It'll say shorts. Then you should see that. And hopefully you didn't hear that car. Somebody hung a horn. But let me see. I want to pull up a video because here's the thing. Like, so if we go over here to YouTube, so this is my YouTube studio. So on the back end here, so you'll see like I just uploaded one earlier today. And then this is a regular video. This is another short. But if you go through and you'll see it comes up still normally in your regular ones, I'm guessing that we will start to see other little tabs start to come up. And I think shorts is going to be one that actually shows up over here. So you can have like your data separate from your regular videos, because the fact that they separated live video content. So your live streams are on a whole nother different tab. Your posts that come to like your community tab, that's on a whole other different tab. But like you can still see like analytics and how well one did or not. So like this is one. If we go to the analytics here and take a look, then you'll see it still will show like your regular, this gray area here. The bottom part of that is the least amount that you would get in a certain time frame, and then this top part of the gray bar will show you the max amount that you usually range between. Now this looks super small because this video went just about vertical. It was trending where videos usually are, and then it just took a whole, like obviously I can't draw with the mouse, but it took a whole vertical incline and just jumped from the usual 110, 190 views within the first, 11 hours or so on the shorts. And then it just jumped up to over 1,700 within the next 24 hours of that video being posted. And then you can also see like other analytics that you may be used to in YouTube, that being like your average view duration. And then you also have your percentage that people are viewing. And so like you would see in regular videos, if you're seeing like a continuous segment, if you're seeing a spike, you'll see intro and things like that to let you know where in your video did you say something or did you do something that they didn't really care for, or they weren't engaged with it, and if they skipped or if they left and things like that. So you'll see different numbers when it comes to your analytics. And so I think it's cool to still be able to see this when it comes to your short form content. That way you can see how are people engaging with your stuff. So I can see that I got towards the end of this video, it still was about 60%, which is really, really good. Which the goal should be for your regular videos even to get to about 50% by the end. That's the goal. Overall average view percentage, again, you at least still want to try to get that to about 50% as well. And so I think that's dope, just because I'm thinking honestly that the more that people are starting to engage with this content, the more that people are starting to post shorts and different things, different variations from educational content to like a quick how-to or something that's fun or whatever. I think it's interesting. Let's see here. So I haven't figured out how to add this to my content where it makes sense. So that's a good point. If you're looking into short form content, like I'm encouraging everybody to take a look at TikTok, because TikTok will give you the way that I think that's like when it comes to vertical content, TikTok is number one, hands down. Like you may be on your phone and go to other apps, but when it comes to like consumption, TikTok ranks number one in my opinion when it comes to that. And I think for a lot of users as well, simply because it's like that magnetic timeline. You're going from one video to the next video. There's very little distractions. Now, what if you got somebody to binge watch stuff on your content with almost no distractions? That's kind of how I'm looking at from the like my goals with my regular videos and my goals for my micro content, which vertical videos are included in that, is a different type of thing, because my goals and how I create that is different. So we've been talking about that a little bit in the membership, the Video Simplified membership. So the Buy Me a Coffee that you all have seen before, which is, I don't think I have the tag on today, but if you go to buymeacoffee.com/Diana or Diana.link/membership, then you'll see that. And so right now that's currently at $10 a month. The more as I add into that and stuff like that, that may increase. So regular people should be fine, but new folks is what I'm referring to. But we've been talking about that in like different ways to create vertical video content and honestly just repurpose your content as a whole. So if you're doing that, think about what is something that will be interesting or cool for them to see, or that may be an educational tip or point or things like that. And honestly, before you start creating, go consume. If you're thinking about creating vertical video content first, go consume that content, because you'll know, like, go find the hashtags that are relative. So if you're into real estate, go to hashtag real estate and start consuming that. You also can search on YouTube. A lot of people I don't think are aware of this. If you go to YouTube and you put a specific hashtag in search, that stuff will come up. So if I go hashtag real estate over here on YouTube. All right, let's take a look. So if I go to hashtag real estate, then certain videos start to come up. And it's interesting that Bigger Pockets, which is a channel, and then you see that come up there. That's the guy Brandon or whatever. Then you see this other person whose video comes up, how to start a career in real estate, and on and on and on and on. You see a ton more of stuff that's there just based on the hashtag. Now, if we took that over to TikTok, you're going to get a totally different experience, because obviously those are regular videos, but the hashtag still is referring to something. But if you look at, I think I can go to TikTok on desktop real quick. It's different on desktop for sure than on mobile, but it would be enough to show you what I'm talking about. And so let's take a look here. Take a look at TikTok, which if you haven't checked out TikTok, it doesn't hurt to go and spend 15 minutes of a break or something somewhere and take a look. But it's starting to show different people here that have real estate in their name somewhere or somewhere in the description. It's seeing that they're talking about real estate. So this person's saying that she's a real estate coach. So if I click on her account and take a look at her videos, then I can see what kind of stuff she's talking about. Get the listing every time. Top 3 ways to make money in real estate and get rich. Me finding a rundown property in a trendy neighborhood below market value. So just different stuff, different topics in the what you're doing. Y'all know I only teach educational based content, right? So education based content or informational based content fits in any and everything that you do, from a brick and mortar location to a digital mostly only location. You can find just about anything. So even if you make products and you have an Etsy shop, there's a way to show how to sew a button on a shirt, if that's what you do, or how I made this popular Star Wars figure, and maybe I'm, trend hacking and post that on May the 4th, so it's a lot of different ways. So if you guys, whoa, did I freeze? I didn't even trip off of that. Hold the horses. So go back over here. I think I found my issue. Pause for the cause. Because that happened earlier. Let's give it a few seconds to reconnect. I think this hub is going out on me. All right, let me reconnect this thing. I'm gonna go to the pre-show music. 1 second, y'all. All right. I think my hub is going out on me for some reason, because that happened on the Social Media Examiner show, and that happened, what was it? It popped in on Alicio's stream. He had asked me to hop on real quick, or if I was available or something like that. But yeah, so I think my hub though, I gotta go through all that hub searching again. It's so frustrating to find the ones that have all the things that you want in there. So that's why I never recommended it. It's until I put something tried and true through its paces, it's we will wait and talk about you when the day comes, but all good. So if it goes out again, hopefully I'll see it, because I don't look at myself, but yeah. So let me go to the comments real quick, because I guess it's been a minute since I just talked about the TikTok stuff. Alrighty. So you also got the teal shirt. All right. Hey, man, I appreciate it. Shout out to Kombucha for hopping in there. What's going on, Devin Chambers? Good to see you. Saying, are you creating thumbnails for your shorts? Sometimes yes, and sometimes no. And I say sometimes yes and no because what I found is that even though I will create a thumbnail for it, YouTube will remove it, which sucks. So it's when you go, and I'm because I thought maybe, sometimes you forget to hit save or something. And I was no, I know I added it and saved it, while it was still unlisted, and then made it public. And I'm why did it? And I think what's happening is either they're kind of saying, don't worry about it, or it's something wrong with it. And I've even seen this on other people's channels as well. And so you have to pick between the 1 to 3 auto-generated ones. And then even if you go to somebody's channel on the short shelf that they have, you may not see it, which is very interesting and crazy at the same time. So if I pull mine's up here, so we go over here to the channel. And so I put my shorts, I think I'm going to move these up. So over here, now you see it. These two specifically, or 3, don't specifically have one, because if you go to your subscriptions tab, I don't know if anybody that I follow has one yet. And this is different than on mobile, obviously, but I don't know if it'll show up on desktop. So here, the future, again, I'm curious, if we go to their channel, would that have a thumbnail? Which obviously I don't know if they actually have one or not, but usually it just shows up however you see this. This is exactly how it shows. So they could have had added a thumbnail and I just don't see one. And that's been interesting. So I've been playing around with that, does it matter? And I think it still does. I'm gonna go back and add it, but I was noticing, I'm well, if you're not taking it, then why do I need to add one? Or is it, just an option? So I think they're still trying to figure stuff out and then learn more of the consumptions, but you never see it if you're going through short videos. You never will see the thumbnail anyway, but it does help when you are on, desktop, or you go to that person's channel, even on mobile, to see it. So I've been adding them just recently. I'm I'm testing, does it matter or not? And it hasn't impacted it whether it has one or not, but it's just a matter of the aesthetic on your channel. Saying, I don't even have a TikTok account. I think it's important to experiment with how your consumers are consuming, right? And again, just how are people consuming content. So I believe that you talked about being like, I think we talked about like you being like a math teacher or something. So if I do hashtag just learn math, or I could do hashtag algebra or something like that, you got different people that say, even this person here is learn math with Sir Oliver. So let's see what kind of stuff that he's talking. Oh my gosh, I would follow him immediately off of just seeing the book. I'm not even joking. Seeing the book and like him go through, like I would follow this immediately. So if we click on this.
Welcome to Review 101. So let us answer item 12. What is the equation of the line whose x-intercept is...
So I probably do this a little bit differently, but just the fact that it's just like, so let's say he says this popular book or a book that most, let's say 80% of schools in the US use it within your region or whatever. He's just going like through problems, and that's dope. So like, you got to think about, again, he's like, well, people go to TikTok to learn about, it's like, it's in consumption with other things. So in addition to, that's the thing you have to think about, is not only, it's in addition to, right? So let's see here, this other person learn or math _ TikTok 18, who knows, we'll see. So something else, this looks like in a potentially different language or whatever, but even still, it's like just them going through, breaking it down. Oh shoot, the music, I forgot. Hopefully that didn't get it wrong, or didn't mess it up. But just different stuff. Like I would go through, if I'm on here and the way I'm consuming content is for math problems or whatever, how can I help them? How can I help them with stuff that they're interested in already? Because if you can make linear equations easy for somebody, that's an easy follow. Like, and that's the thing with any of these platforms, you always have to like earn the subscription, earn the view, earn the whatever, but it's easy to be something like if you get them that instant yes within like the first 5 to 10 seconds or whatever, more or less, and it's like you did it in a dope way, it's easy for them to hit that follow button, see what else you got, and then you'll see a ton of like stuff where people followed you or liked it and stuff like that, just because they see this is what you about. And I think that's the interesting thing. It's a lot of different ways. So if y'all want to explore some more things, let me know. Say, how are you? I'm doing very well. Doing very, very well. So I thought it was messed up on my end. No. You're good. I like that purple background. It's nice. What is going on, K-Walk Comedy? Good to see you. Glad that you are here. Saying my Air server keeps freezing on me. Yeah, pay the cost to be the boss, right? It's like, it is what it is. Saying, what is a hub? It's just the little device that you use to plug in the USB ports and things like that into, to transition that into the USB-C, the little port in your computer. Basically, you may have like 4 to 15 different ports, USB, HDMI, blah, 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 on this little device. And then you can send all that to your computer. So I'll pull one up real quick on Amazon, because it's just, it gives you the ability to not like go from a bunch of plugs and cables coming out of your computer to a dedicated little docking station to work for you. And that helps. It's just a matter of, so it's been frustrating to find good ones. So like if we take a look real quick, these are ones that you may find like a USB-C little hub. So it's called on here. So you have these are good. Like if you're traveling, I have one that I use that's by Anchor, that when I'm traveling, that works for me. But this is not for when I'm at home. Like I need something that's more. So this more or less, you would see like a docking station more or less. So this is similar to what I'm using, but this isn't it. And you see like you can have multiple ports, plugs, cables, and things like that. So that way, like I'm not competing with only stuck to using the 4 ports on your computer. Like for example, for me, the MacBook Pro. If you have a Mac Mini, you have mostly all that stuff on the back already, so you get to go. David Hunt, good to see you. Glad you're here. Saying Wheel of Wonder. No, we don't even have anything to give away currently. So Saying I'm still recovering from, that's because Fulgens cheated. So y'all need to take that up with Brother Fulgens for cheating on the, I just think he had amazing luck that day. So can you give some more tips for using your analytics to make informed decisions that help increase the watch time? Cool. So let's break this down, because this is semi-compounded. A lot of people get stuck only on views, subscribers, and can be watch time at times, but usually it's like views and subscribers. The thing when it comes to your YouTube analytics, so let's go to analytics. All right, so let's go over here. Okay, so we have views, watch time, subscribers, and then you have your revenue if you're part of the partner program or whatever. So your watch time, when you look at this, it always have the graphs and stuff. So channel watch time compared to your typical performance. This includes public, private, unlisted, and deleted videos. So this, when you come to the watch time, it's like, how much are people consuming, right? So you have the days for like the month. Any of these little symbols are going to be for any live streams that you do. And also that includes or can include like previews that you do. What do you call it? Like scheduled live streams or whatever. Not scheduled live stream, but goodness, what is the word I'm looking for? Whatever it is, premieres. That's what it is. The play button icons are when you uploaded a video. And then here on the side, you'll see how much that is. So based on that, if you come down here, you'll see your top videos that contributed to what people watch. This is the like one of the things that I look for. It's not the only thing, but if I'm starting to break down the analytics on my channel, then I am taking into an account of what are people consuming, how are they consuming it, how much are they consuming it, and why. Now I said that really fast, but it's always like the who, what, when, where, why kind of a deal. But I'm taking into account, okay, I'm producing this kind of content on my channel with the goal to help them to achieve X. Is that working? Is that happening? Because if people aren't, like the first thing with YouTube is attention. If you are not getting people's attention, it doesn't matter. You will never get to the other stuff. So if watch time is low in areas that you're trying to see, like, and sometimes people can be all over the place with their content. More or less some of any and everything that's on this channel is help you simplify the video creation process, whether that's from a gear side of things or like where we talk about stuff like this, even some of the YouTube specific stuff that comes out. But it's more so less, helping get the tech out the way so you get to the point of creating content, right? If I'm publishing something like for back in the day, this video just continues to blast, like light speed comparative to anything else about opening a business checking account, when I only talked about business checking and not business, but small business and personal development stuff from back in the day. So that's from way back when. That video still crushes. It don't matter what I do currently, right? So, okay, if I'm considering the watch time when it comes to the analytics, I'm not going to pay attention to that at all because I'm not producing any more of that kind of content. But if I was, then I want to see how are people finding my videos? How are they finding it? So this is one that's like 52 minutes. This is not normal. Like nothing about this is normal. This is the long game when it comes to YouTube. I know you are not taking a part of your Friday afternoon to spend 52 minutes going through your camera settings unless you bought that camera. So I'm going and I'm creating pieces with intent. So if you're not creating your content with a specific and focused intent, then you can't adequately judge your analytics. But for this one, I can start to look at one, how is this video performing currently? Okay, I know this is a video that I don't care what time of the day or whatever, as long as that camera specifically has some form of relevance to people purchasing it, that video will be helpful to them because it'll walk them through, getting their camera set up for video, right? So I can look at the views, and I'm obviously the fact that it's going up and blah, blah, blah helps. But if I needed to judge, let's say this is all that I was doing, then I want to judge and I want to start looking at how are people watching. If I want to analyze the watch time, I need to understand how are people consuming the content. And this is what I was saying earlier in the stream, that when you look at key moments for audience retention, everything about your watch time needs to start in some way, form, or fashion in regards to how are people watching what you already posted. Because if you're just going off of what got a lot of views, you don't know how much of that video they watched. So you're not making sound decisions at that point, only going off of that one single metric. And that's where a lot of people mess up. They'll only look at the fact that, I want to see which one's got views and which one's got likes and comments. That just means you move them to an emotion to like the video and, leave a comment or share it or something. That's the hierarchy of engagement scale I've taught here on the channel. The intro, spike, and the dip. And then there's another one called continuous segment. Again, I know what this video is for. It has chapters and all this, that, or whatever. So you will see that this video is not representative to the other forms of my content. So I'm not making adjustments based on this. This is a long form piece. They're skipping. Big spike here. And I know specifically at this point in the video, if I clicked on it, it would take me to exactly where it's going to go into live stream settings and stuff. So that signals to me what kinds of stuff are people searching for? What part of the video did they like? What part did they not like? If I was judging off of this video, but I'm not. But what I'm looking at is stuff that I can change as a creator when I'm looking at the intro, the continuous segment, the spikes, and the dips. And just if you hover over this, it'll tell you viewers are still watching from 0 to 30 seconds. This is why I'm saying when, like, if I'm working with clients or if I'm teaching them something or whatever, I'm like, you are wasting people's time. If they can skip the first 30 seconds and then you're just getting to the point, something is wrong in the form of how you're creating your content. Because if you're waiting for, it's like, what are you doing? And like, seriously, that's a huge thing. Everything else stops. We can just stay at the first 30 seconds for a second. What are you doing if you go and watch your videos? What are you doing within the first 30 seconds of the video? If by 20 to 30 seconds, you are not hitting into the core content of why they clicked, they left, or they skipped, and trying to see when do you get to the point, or they backed out and kept searching because you didn't help them. So if you're looking at your watch time as a whole, don't just look at the watch time, go look at your core videos if it's speaking to your channel as well. Like those last 10 help. What's happening in the last 28 days, what happened in the last 60 days, what's happening in the last 90 days of content that you're publishing. Another thing, which is why I'm saying you need to produce regular and consistent content, because if you're not, you can't make accurate decisions on your analytics because you don't have enough. You post it once on the 1st of the month, you post it once on the 15th of the month, and you post it once on the 30th of the month. You got 3 videos across 30 days. You don't have enough data to make decisions off of because the people don't even know if they want to come back and watch yet. Their behaviors are impacted considering the watch, the likes, the views, all that stuff, the hierarchy of engagement. All that stuff matters when you're looking at your analytics and stuff. So that's a video that, again, I'm playing the long game on because I can make content around just that camera for days, but I'm not going to saturate the channel with that just yet. Let's take a look at something else in regards to your question, and then we'll move on. Let's take a look here. Let me find one. So let's take one that I recently just published. This is the one about the settings for my audio and stuff like that. Okay, the views and stuff like that is fine. The watch time is trending upwards or whatever, and that's fine. But when I come down here, how are people finding the video? This is a normal video that speaks to what the channel is about. I feel like that video delivers on that, and it also delivers in retrospect to other stuff. But this is not a searchable piece of content because nobody really is searching on YouTube what's Diana's audio settings. They would ask me, but that's not something that's a searchable factor. I could reframe the video and make it a different way, or make a different video and say these are the best settings for the Shure SM7B and the Rodecaster Pro. But that's not the point. I want to show you what I'm specifically using because that's the point of the video. So I expect people to find this through the subscriptions and me recommending it. More or less, YouTube recommending it out and stuff like that. That's fine for those up next and home. And then also it's coming up a little bit in search, and then the subscriptions feed. Notifications, not the big of a deal. Other could be whatever. Intro, fine. Somewhere getting close to that 50% mark, not bad. 2.5, and then it starts to trend down and stuff like that. So if I go to a piece that is, let's go up here. to dashboard. And let's take a piece of content that has been a searchable piece of content. Well, I don't have one because I just uploaded that, what do you call it? Short. So I have to pick one. Where is one where I created it with the intent for search? Because even this video is another one. It's nobody's asking for that. That's another one that's a short. Let's go to ZV1. All right, so this is one, again, started trending pretty okay as far as the views. We go to the watch time, kind of about where I would expect it to be, intro, and then dip and stuff like that. So whatever's right here may be something like, let me know to increase watch time moving forward. Don't repeat whatever's at 4 minutes and 29 seconds, or there was some irrelevancy that was alluding to somewhere in here. Right. So if you want to adjust to get more people to watch, you need to know how they're watching and consuming the content. This is a 8-minute something video. Average person barely gets to 4 minutes. So something about this to someone or to the audience that's watching it is irrelevant. Right. So it's like it's a ton more that you can go into. But it's like you trying to analyze your watch time. You need to analyze how people are watching and consuming the content. So that's important. OK. So you're saying that's kid stuff. I don't do kids content. Well, it depends on. So that's going back to the TikTok stuff about the math. It depends on the what. It doesn't matter who is consuming it. Because here's the thing. There are also parents that are on TikTok because when they come to them and they ask them questions, they don't know how to help them. So it's like that. It depends on what you're teaching as far as the math. But that's just an example that I was given on TikTok there. So it depends. Saying my audience is teachers doing videos for kids is easy. Then again, there's all kinds of people on any of these platforms from TikTok, Instagram, YouTube, LinkedIn, whatever. What are you trying to help them with what specifically? Saying what's your audience age range? For my audience, it tends to be somewhere between the 30 to 45 to 48 age range. And then I do hit a sliver that is slightly above that, somewhere between like the 50 to 58 range. But I tend to have a little bit of an older demographic. So it can be even like 35, but somewhere between that range, 30 to 45, 48 years old. That's the usual age range there, because you got to think of the price of some of the stuff that we talk about or how much you're talking about from an investment standpoint. 18-year-old talking about spending $5,000, with a ton of stuff. It's just not going to happen. All right. So I use the cal digit with the M1. That's the other one. It's like at the time when I needed one to replace whatever the previous one is that I had from the docking stations, that their newest one hadn't released. So I'm like, well, I'm not going to buy a new one and sit and hold that one, and then it becomes useless because you're past whatever return period and stuff. So I was like, I'll just wait. So finally at that moment, I'm like, we'll try to get one in this weekend. Hopefully see what's what. Saying good points, saying this is money, saying definitely money. I'm glad it's super helpful. But yeah, it's like when you're looking at, so let me find another video just to go back into it. Because even the stuff I post for in like the membership area, that stuff is coming up. So let's take a look here. Here we go. So you can find this one. So this is one. Let's go through here. One, the video created intent for search, intent to, again, solve a specific problem. And it's always about, are you delivering in that video? Is your video delivering on what it said it was going to do, right? And so if we scroll down, this one does really well, in my opinion, just from the standpoint of like, am I hitting my 50% goal of them getting to the end of the video? Yes. Is my average percentage viewed higher than 50% or somewhere close to it? Yes. Average view duration, somewhere about the half point mark? Yes. Also, this is where chapters in your videos are helpful too. I'm not always doing the best job at including chapters in my videos, and it's a good thing to add. You just add 0:00 and then put at the specific time points. Then when you see people jump Two, like you'll see there's no spikes or continuous segments in here. It only shows the dip where it says fewer viewers watch this part of your video compared to previous parts. So if I play this back, and just pull down on your screen, press and hold the Bluetooth icon, and that'll pop up for your settings. You do want to make sure you have Bluetooth on. That way you can, from me as a creator, I hear where the mistake is now. You know what I'm saying? And it's like, you may say, well, what did you say wrong? I didn't say anything wrong. I didn't show them something. So I didn't abide by my own rules just because at the time I could tell you, I'm like, well, that's simple enough. Do I have to show that in a piece or whatever? And it's like, I resolved that the answer was no. The analytics resolved the answer is yes, which means if I'm describing to you how to do something, I also need to show that to you no matter how simple it is. And I've gotten complaints in videos and about videos simply because I didn't show the bottom of the battery door on the camera to where you plug, like if you use a dummy battery, just like the little rubber doors for the cord to dangle out. People are like, I don't see it, I don't get it, or whatever. So I introduced a frustration point instead of resolving a pain point. And that's like the metrics. If I'm trying to design a video to increase how people are watching it and consuming it, maintaining their attention, and also, again, by the time they're done watching that video, have resolved their issue, versus them having to hit the back button and keep searching and like, no, that video didn't do it. Or, that was a good point. Nobody else said that one thing, but then I got to still keep searching. My goal is to make sure for that one thing, you're done. And I can see, like, for that part in the video where it's like, whereas a spike, it's very minimal, right? So if we look here, this is nothing comparative to, but it is a flat line portion. It's real small, real small, just that right there. Over the course of this video, very minor, but it's a key to me as a creator of what to do next time. Now, I promise you, I could go back to older videos. Let's go to the ones that let's switch it to the views. And let's go to an old one. This one got like 65,000. Let's look at the analytics here. 9-minute video. I was making real long videos. Right? Like real long videos. This one, even still, this was what, 2018, I think? I think this was like, what's the dates on? I don't know. It could be, that's gotta be a 20, because I was still working. I remember that day very vividly. Either way, but like, I made longer form, and 10 minutes is a long time, right? And I thought that was still short, but for me as a creator, I can tell you I was working on it. But this is very good, though. You see, it's not a lot of spice. It's more or less relatively smooth. Got close to the 50%, but not at all towards the end of the video. And then it kind of tanks down. But I was implementing the stuff that I was learning. So this is a video that, in my opinion, again, it's like, oh, I was still making stuff about business or whatever. That one did very well. But, from a watch time perspective, let's go back. I want to show you one that didn't do good. Well, I guess I should go to one that has, well, I don't know. It's not necessarily per views, but let's say I want to get down to one that's like, I felt like was bad. Let me go. I want to say, because that one still don't even have a thumbnail. Let me go one more page and see. So like, this is like one of my first videos ever. Let's see what this one is doing. I've never even looked at this stuff. This video, flatline. So even still, not bad. I'm very surprised. I've never looked at these old analytics, but you can see though, more or less though, in the beginning, this is a steep decline. Within the first few seconds of the video, a steep decline. And it just continues to make a steeper decline. This lets me know that they were skipping, and then don't care, right? So I've never looked at this video back here. But again, what are you doing? Within the first several seconds or whatever, I had a intro that would play that was just like a few seconds and then it would go to the whatever. And this is like just a screen share video, something that I had learned. And I was like, oh, this would be cool if I made a video on this. It turned out to do not too bad comparative to me not knowing what the hell I was doing, but I was trying. I was learning. But I took information that I would learn. We didn't have these graphs also in the back of the day. These did not exist. So you didn't have analytics to show you where people fell off at, and now you do. So y'all got an upper hand on all of that stuff. But any of these older videos that I was making, we had them analytical graphs. You just had to look and see like how much are people watching, like how many views did something get, are people engaging with it or not? And, you know what I'm saying, look to see where, you know, maybe somebody like you'll see like some of the watch time stuff, but we didn't have the graphs to show us where they skipped, and you had to know that was what was happening. So the behaviors of how people engage with your content matter. But that was the goal. It's like your goal with watch time analytics and the data side of things. What can you do better as a creator? Not from a quality of the camera and audio. Obviously, audio should be number one, and then the lighting, and then the video stuff. But again, it's like, so if you're doing something like that little small thing we saw in that previous video that people didn't watch as much of, I know from a creator doing this long enough now to know I didn't abide by my own rule, which was to say, show, and spell method, which means I'm going to say something. I'm also going to show it to you. And I'm also going to spell it out so it's maybe on the screen if it's like text or a word or whatever, right? Or make sure at least the text is visible on the thing. So I'm describing something just in those few seconds of that video. And then I'm looking like, dang, I should have put that in there. Like it would have been easy. Would have took me 3 seconds to do, and I chose not to do it. And as a result, I can see next time, choose to do that, right? So look at your own analytics. How are you doing compared to like your last 10 videos? Has that changed over the last 30, 60, 90 days? What's trending upwards? What's doing well? What's not doing so well for you? And where can you change stuff? And then also know, like if you're on YouTube, you need to be playing the long game, right? So if you just hear the quick views, think get a partner program, whatever, better be in this thing for the long game. Like that's the goal there. Let's go to the chat. Saying I am at 18 videos, definitely not enough. Over 1,000 subscribers, 3,000 of watch hours. Definitely leveraging your advice for key moments, thinking how viewers are watching the content. Thank you. Sure thing. And you're doing a fantastic job. Like it took me, I was probably at year 2. Yeah, I think I was at year 2 of being on YouTube, and I had made a ton of videos, like a lot. So I'm probably over 100 videos at that time or so, or close to, between Facebook, posting in a private Facebook group to do a challenge to get used to being better on camera, and then posting stuff that I felt was relevant on YouTube. And then by 2017, just starting to invest in education around learning YouTube. And then it was like, oh, now I see why that video didn't matter, or I see why that one didn't. Like I didn't know nothing about search. I knew nothing. So I had to go back, like, this will be a cool one. This will be a cool one. And then like refine it. By year 2, about, what was this, November 2000? No, this was like September 2018. I had just hit 500 subscribers. Like literally, like I think it was like September 2018. I had just hit 500 subscribers. So you're doing a fantastic job, you know, for what you are doing, but really start looking at not just are people not just are they getting. So let me explain this. This is what I call the hierarchy of engagement scale, which means if you think about it like in a pyramid type like structure of people consuming your content and how the behaviors are formed, your number one goal, like, so for example, thumbnails matter because they are attention. Everything of what we're doing right now is an attention game. Everything, which is why the first 5 seconds of anything that you do is critical to at least tell them that they're in the right place or tell them that they're in the wrong place and they need to leave immediately so they're not impacting no other data, right? You're either in the right place or you're in the wrong place. The thumbnail is going to tell them if it's interesting and relative to what they want or expect based on what they search. If it wasn't, scroll pastable. Like either it's clickable or scroll pastable. And that is an official Diana Gladney word added to your dictionaries. Okay. So you think about how people consume your content or content in general. The first thing you got to win is the click. So thumbnails. So now you've introduced the metrics in your YouTube that deals with impressions. They saw the full thumbnail. You got an impression data based on how much people saw and was exposed to your content. You now earn the click because they clicked on your video. So now you got to get them to watch, hopefully, the first 30 seconds of your video or so. Can't remember the exact number for them to be qualified as a view, but it's not much though. But it's like my goal is the first 30 seconds. That's for me, I'm counting it as a watch, because sometimes I'm taking longer to explain the problem or an issue, or like you know what I'm saying? I'm setting it up more or less, not the full 30 seconds, but sometimes. So if I get them past 30 seconds, then I know that that person for me is in the right spot for my kind of content. So now I'm categorically assuming that that is the view. Now I've gotten the view. Cool. Now, did I move them to a point somewhere in the video to either show or share something that they like, to move them to a point to do another action, which is a thumbs up or a thumbs down? I categorize thumbs down as I missed the mark somewhere for something, or sometimes it could be just butt heads. Like, you never know. And so it's like you got a good kind of way. Did I miss it someplace, or maybe it was somebody just being a jack butthead? I assume most of the time I missed the mark someplace, unless I know that was a dynamite video and I'm like, you just mad because you ran out of laundry soap today. I don't know what your problem is. That's how I assume it. But in the hierarchy of engagement scale, it's about earning that click. So getting them to watch it, getting them to click and getting them to watch. Now you go to the next level of moving them to an emotion of a thumbs up or a thumbs down. Either way, you move them to an emotion. The other thing to me that comes next is a comment. Now you move them to write a reply. Nobody is taking extra time out of their day to either say that you did something bad or to say something that you did something good if you didn't move them to an emotion. That is gold to me, because you now are getting data specifically from them. Now, this is another kind of a conversation, stuff that's probably for another training, as to where are you listening to a loud majority or a loud minority? Sometimes when you see comments, it could be even 2 or 3 that you see comments. Those people still may be a loud minority. They represent a small amount of your audience, where that or a few people maybe are dissatisfied with something. And you now, a lot of people make decisions on changes that they make to their video, their content, and how they produce or something, sometimes based on a loud minority, a small sector of your audience that may comment, but they're not representative to overall the amount of people that you help. So sometimes if everybody's saying your volume's too low, like I keep seeing that across like multiple videos from different people or whatever, which I used to see back in the day. And I'm like, Dad, I got to figure this out. And so I figured it out. What's my right number for my voice and stuff? And so once I did that, now I don't have no audio issues, because I know what to look for from a percentage wise, song wise, analyzing a song to know if it is too much in a register or a higher point where it just got like stuff that sounds annoying, like all of that. So dial that in. So at that time, I'm like, everybody must have this problem. These few are complaining about it or whatever, but rightly so, because I need to change something. But either way, in the scale, you now have moved them to an emotion to leave a comment. And then the Bee's Knees Hall of Fame at the top of the pyramid is a share. Somebody went to the point they now want to expose what you have done to somebody that they know, or to their audience, or to share with somebody else that had a problem to say, like, you got, you know what I'm saying? It's the difference of why, like a movie like Black Panther and other ones, and Avengers and all that stuff do well, because you talk about it and you have moved somebody to an emotion to make a decision to now start that hierarchy of engagement scale over. So it's like you move somebody to a movie ticket, you move them to a movie ticket. So that's like the hierarchy of engagement scale. that I teach that talks about like moving somebody to progress through or progress rather through your videos from front to back. And then you have analytics that YouTube provides you along the way. And so you now are in a place where you can decide and you can just look. Because if I only looked at what's going on over here based on the views or something like that, I'm always going to be discouraged. I have to take a look at, and it's just the last 28 days. So let's say I look at the last 90 days for analytics as a whole. There's nothing special. And I also know I stopped my live streams about 30 days ago from a consistent Friday schedule just because I needed to. It may have been more than like 90 days or whatever, but I know for the last 90 days, if I look at from the subscribers, watch time, all this other stuff, I don't know why that's sticky there. Sometimes that happens, but whatever. Okay, now it's gone. But if I'm only looking at what the most recent something is, like I know what I'm doing in life and with my channel, and like I know what my goals are, so I'm not worried about a 30-day span where income may have dropped because super chats didn't come or this didn't come because you know what I'm saying, like I'm not you know what I'm saying, like I'm not worried about that because I know what things I'm doing that's impacting that on purpose. There's one thing if I'm trying to hit certain goals and it's just not working, then I know, okay, let's go back to the drawing board. But like if I look over the last 90 days or so, this is consistent. It's consistent with usually what it is in the last 30 days. So now I can start to look through, like I had put on my notepad on here. I had put on a list of stuff that now needs to be changed to know, oh, I do need to go back and revisit this kind of content. Oh, I do need to go back because I got too many comments that asked about this. So that's where the video about the settings for the audio helped a lot of people because a lot of people kept asking about it. And I'm like, I need to hurry up and do that. The other one is other stuff with the A6400 that people have asked for in ZV1 that I just haven't gotten to yet or gotten at least posting it yet. Some stuff is recorded, it's just not edited. But it's like other stuff in the business. So you have to know your goals with your channel and your content, what it's contributing to and what it's not contributing to, right? So that's the other thing. Don't base like growing your channel and income only on YouTube. Learn to leverage YouTube, but don't let it only be like, because if I was only trying to live off the YouTube income, I'm not eating. Like I'm like, ain't nothing happened. And there ain't no, I don't think it's a gas shortage. I think other contributing factors to that, same way like it was with the toilet tissue, where everybody lost it daggone mind. And all the baby wipes disappeared all of a sudden, right? So, you know, it's like you got other stuff that you have to think about in the overall spectrum of what you're creating, why you're creating, and what's the long-term goal with the pieces of content that you're creating, and how is that, you know, potentially contributing to what you're doing. Oh, we got the Daniel Batal in the house. Good to see you, brother. Saying I have a lot of unresolved issues in my videos and in real life. Don't we all, my good brother? Don't we all? Listen. Saying just arrived. First of all, without a spot or blemish ministry. I saw one of your comments. I don't think I replied to it yet on one of the other videos. So shout out to you because I have seen you on the channel before. So good to see you. Saying just arrived. So forgive me if this is off topic. Your live stream looks so clean and vibrant. Why, thank you. Saying like you recorded it in 4K. Why, thank you. You're making a girl blush. Stop it. No, just kidding. I'm using OBS for streaming 1080p and it's not as clean A6400 camera. So great question. So let's break down the look a little bit here. Because if I pulled out my phone, as you can go look on Instagram, it don't look the same because the camera ain't the same. The quality ain't the same. Even though I cleaned off the thing, it's just not the same. So if we break it down from the camera, your camera has the ability to, we just now have to bring it out of it based on some changes, the environment that I have tinted the windows so I don't have to worry about if it's, you know, a super bright day because I want to control the lighting. So the first thing in my video to get this kind of a look, this is not using any kind of a LUT. This is not using any kind of adjustments to the color or none of that. This is a standard picture profile that comes basic in your Sony cameras. So this is A6400, so you have one. The lens contributes to the sharpness, how much light it allows. So like if you think about the sensor, think of that like an eyeball on a person. And so the lens is like the glasses that I wear. If I have My little niece or nephew put Cheetos fingers across it's not as clear, it's blurry. So clean the lens. Honestly, I've seen some pretty harsh looking lenses, so make sure it's clear. But your lenses on your camera is kind of like the glass. It's the sharpness and quality of the glass dictates how well the eyeball, the sensor, can see. That also is dictated by the quality of the lens that you purchase. A kit lens will not reproduce this kind of a look. You can put it at 35 millimeters. It will have the same type of shape and like you see this much and stuff, but the blurry background, you will not see those. So those are fairy lights. You see, like I have the little thing there, all that stuff is blurry behind me. By the time you get to the back of the chair that I'm sitting in, that's starting to get blurry. So that behind me, all of that stuff, the blurry background is what's called depth of field. That is achieved by the 35 millimeter f1.8 lens that I use. And that lens is very sharp. The f1.8, which is called the aperture, allows for the blurry background. If you have a lens that's f2.0 or lower, you can get a really good blurry background. So because that's the lens that I use in my space, it lets a lot of light in because that aperture, that little number, lets a lot of light come onto the sensor, like the eyeball of the camera. So because of that, the background also gets blurry and there's more light, which means I don't need as much in the space. My lights consist of one right here that's above me at about 45 degrees tilted maybe, but above me, diffused, and it's soft to the point you see like my hand. You can easily see all my stuff, right? It's not looking white out, but if I put a white sheet of paper, it probably will be. So it's super bright comparative to that, more or less, but not for my skin, right? So the other thing is I have another light that you can see that's kind of here. You don't see it like being super harsh because it's diffused. So I only use those two lights to actually light me, one from the side. So all of this doesn't go to an infinity dark, and this is white balanced. So I've talked about that in the video to make sure it looks normal. The colors look normal, and that is it. So the quality of the lens is extremely vital to how the quality of your stuff looks. You can get a kit lens to look good. It just won't be as blurry background and stuff, may not be as sharp, but the Sony sensors on the cameras don't have a compromised sensor, meaning they don't dumb it down to make it not as good, in the best way I can say it. So a reminder, hit the like button, show some love, y'all. Appreciate that. What is going on, Jose? Good to see you, saying I really appreciate all the information you're providing in your videos. Thank you. My pleasure. Glad to be of service. Filmtopia, good to see you. Love your background and picture there. Saying it's been a while since I popped in here, but I appreciate you keeping your word and making the Shure SM7B settings video asked and you delivered. My pleasure. I am here to serve. Hashtag scroll pastable. It is a real word. You can add it to your dictionary. It said somebody got tired of you trash talking Panasonic. When did I trash talk Panasonic? That is so messed up. When have I I love Panasonic. I did videos. It just, can't please everybody. Saying, oh my goodness, I made it in time. Please tell me that pro tip method in buying used cameras that you shared before. It was like waking up at 5 a.m. on certain sites. Okay. So real quick, I'm gonna answer that, but let me get to the super chat. Thank you so much. Follow Don, appreciate you. Saying, are you accepting super chats for a quick channel review? If not, no worries. What you said was far worth every bit of this. So you don't have to leave a super chat in order to get a channel review. So I appreciate you doing it if you want to. So if you leave a super chat or something on the channel, that's if you all want to. I don't ever say you have to pay me for that in a sense. At least not currently. Coming to a theater near you. Now, let's see here. So let's take a look at your channel real quick. I'm assuming it's the one that you have there. So I put your name into search and it comes up. So that's the key thing. That's the first thing. Anytime you're talking about being found, can they at least find you by your name? Or is it too long and too whatever? Even if I knew your first and last name, let's say I engage with you elsewhere, can I search and find you with your name? Like if I typed in whatever, maybe it's say like Don Walters, who knows, will you still come up? So that's another thing. So cool job there. So first things first, let's pause for the calls on that. A lot of good things just initially off the overall aesthetic of the channel. Very clear. Follow Don. One Wheel, tech, and tips for content creators. Boom. Nailed it. Who are you helping with what specifically? Who are you? What's the channel about? All that stuff is answered in that little bit there. So you have a video here for more or less what I call the welcome mat, which is this here. So I appreciate that, because even if it's just a video or something like that, it's relative to what you're talking about. That's a 7-minute video. We ain't gonna watch all that, but we'll check out the first few seconds.
I'm running late to Javier's victory lap event. You know I have to be there to support him, to capture this moment. The event started at noon. It is
nice.
12:40.
Let's go, One Wheel. I can't ride a skateboard. All right, cool. Like it. I like it a lot. So that's engaging. I like that you even chose that video specifically. I wonder if the other ones are like that, but that's enough to like it catches my interest. That's just 15 seconds. It catches my interest enough that if I was searching for something on One Wheel or saw you talking about something, I would click over to check that out. So popular uploads, interview with the One Wheel wing, huge drop in, okay. Pints, right? Okay. So some other stuff is more or less One Wheel related. You got some shorts, dope. I like that. Series shortcuts. All right. So nice. All things One Wheel. I would probably change this instead of all things One Wheel to what are all of these things about? You know what I'm saying? Like, I get it. It is One Wheels, but like you get an area for a little description or something like that. So even if it's just like all things One Wheel, let's say that was a series that you have on your channel, for example, but because it's like different playlists, what are the playlists like going to help the person do? So if I'm coming to you because you talk about One Wheels, you could do a whole section here where it's playlists that are relative to helping a beginner just get started. So I would do something like a getting started with One Wheel, if that was something that you talked about, just as an example. If it's like, so maybe this is like setting a playlist on setting it up. Maybe this is a playlist comparing different versions of the One Wheel. Maybe this is one that's about all the playlist of all the little things that somebody that's new to One Wheels before they buy, or they just bought it and it came in the mail today, let's say, that they would want to watch. So I would put all of that stuff in a playlist versus like a generic name, unless that's specific to the brand and they would know or come to know what that is. And then the uploads is at the bottom. That's okay. But I'll probably move that somewhere up to seeing what you most recently posted, so that they can see, did you have a live stream? Did you have a whatever? So these, like, you producing regular content far as I can see. So put that at top so I can see what the last most relevant thing that you did, instead of just only popular uploads. But let's take a look at, since we have some of these different ones, it's at One Wheel product reviews. Let's take a gander.
Y'all, I'm so excited. I have the XR mag handle mount and the mag handle pro, normally for the One Wheel pint, but today we're putting this on the XR, baby. Yes. Javier,
so I think that's me with the internet.
Dropped off these gifts like he's One Wheel Santa. I so appreciate him, and now my board build will be complete. Just can't wait to put this on the board. Let's do it right now. First package, the XR handle mount. Let's get this guy open.
Okay, so you got in here that you
literally
so let's
2
pause.
screws.
So couple things, like I get the what you're doing or whatever. I would say what's most helpful for somebody that is looking at a review type of content is to get close-ups of the things, right? If you have like the screws and the things, let them see how big it is or how small it is. Even if it's with your phone that you add into the editing or whatever, that's cool. I also saw that you had the pop-up to let them know, like, hey, go to this timestamp if that's relevant or whatever. If you're going to do that, go ahead and throw those chapters, those timestamps in the description or whatever. Got a full thing there as far as your, what's the name of? Got a comment going on. So not bad. I think you did a great and fantastic job taking a look at what you've done. here. So let's take a look. You got some videos that you are some tags and stuff that you're coming up for as far as your video tags here. So you come up for number 4 for this specific kind of handle. You got your name in there. Fantastic job. Also the mount install and some other stuff. I would also say don't just only go for the one word things, right? So like RSC2 Pro, maybe like, I don't know anything about this space, obviously, but when you think about the person that's searching for something, you see that you're coming up for that specific stuff. Like say your description and all that stuff is on point. You're doing a fantastic job with all of this. I would just say, think about longer form stuff, tags and stuff that's relevant to what somebody's searching for. So if you got Mag Handle Pro install, let's take a look at this one. So we start putting this in search. Installation is one that's coming up. Let's see, Mag Pro. We also have XR versus Mag Handle, worth it, one wheel, other stuff that's relevant to what people are putting in. I don't know what pint is, but let's explore and see if anything else comes in. Nope, nothing there. Let's see. If we just look at Mag Pro handle, I'll do this also sometimes in the videos, just to like when I'm doing research, just to see what is something I'm maybe not thinking about that somebody else may have included in a video. And most people probably aren't doing as much work as you're doing. So this person has one wheel XR Mag Handle review. So not saying I didn't see that on your video, but again, that's an example of a longer form tag that may be relevant to your audience, or this one wheel Mag Handle mount review, and see if somebody's searching for that too, would they still kind of expect or want to see something that my video is talking about. But you'll see other people, they just do like the one thing, but obviously that's One Wheel's channel, so they should show up. And then boom, there you are, which is why ranking matters, because if somebody's searching for something, do you come up? And you do. Love the aesthetics of the video, love the quality. The audio is good. Music is good, background music and stuff like that. But because, like I said, that you are showing them, I would say go ahead and institute that. Say, dang, did that thing freeze again? This mug. Oh, here comes Amazon one-day purchase. Here we go. Coming to a theater near you. Hopefully, let's see if I get a cow digit in within the next couple days. We'll see. Alrighty. Any day now. We'll be right back after these messages. Alrighty. I have to get a cow digit now or something similar. We'll see. We'll see how the cow digit works out if I can get it this weekend. But yeah, as far as what I can see from on your channel, everything looks dope. From the aesthetics, like I said, the music and the audio is very well done. Even for the other video that you have listed as a, what do you call it? That's on your homepage. That one's very well done, because sometimes with the outdoor videos, the audio can get really loud. And that can be very annoying with the wind screens not on there, or maybe not on there properly. So as far as I can see, you're doing a fantastic job with what you're doing as far as the videos. And it's like I said, you said 18 videos, I think, or so. So everything that I see, you're doing a fantastic job. Just consistently continue to post your thumbnails. Like if we take a look real quick, all those look good from what I can see. I'd say be careful sometimes depending on mobile. I'm not sure how this comes up on mobile, but the smaller stuff is, the harder that it is for people to read. And then also like contrast. So this is dope because blue background, white text, easy to read and easy for people to see with what's going on. So just be mindful of using thinner fonts, like an Oswald or something like that, that's harder to read when it's so much text. So you don't have to completely repeat everything that's on the title or in the title on the actual, you'll have to repeat it on the thumbnail. You could put something that's specific to what would they expect to see or want, or a question mark. Just think about the intention behind what they're searching for and what they're expecting to see, and then go ahead and drop that in the thumbnail. It could be some polarizing or whatever the case is. Just a thought. So hopefully that helps with your channel. So Sam asking, what was it, my pro tip in regards to buying used? My tips when I was saying to buy a used camera, today is one hella active day, like all over the world out here, Craig. So what I was saying is that if you are purchasing a used camera, you have B&H Photo Video, you have Adorama, you have Amazon and their Amazon warehouse. You also have KEH.com, Pro Camera, MPB.com, all these sites, all of them, right? So you have all of these different websites where you can go. What I suggest is, for me, it's usually like Central Standard Time. So what I'll do is get up at like 5 o'clock, which is like 6 o'clock Eastern Standard Time, because when B&H and all these guys are getting in their cameras that came in, let's say today or a couple days before, they've had time to go through, put them into the systems, check them, and blah, blah, blah. So if you were looking for, let's say, a Sony ZV-1 or something, or A6400, you're looking for a camera, they may have it in stock. And I've had this happen to me with the A6600 when I was buying one. They may have it in the back. They could be looking at it, and you'll get in touch with chat and you say, hey, do y'all have any in stock available or something? They'll say no, because it's not ready yet. They can't, it's not on the website. It's not ready to go. So if they don't have some like the night, or they got some in the back, they'll never tell you. But you'll know that they did when you go in at 5 o'clock in the morning or whatever, and you check, then you'll see that they have, what do you call it? They have listed it. The reason why you want to go early in the morning, because ain't nobody else up shopping except crazy people like us that's looking for gear. So you'll get those fresh listings that just came in that are not there yet. Sometimes you can search during a regular day and whatever's still there is there, but you'll see the fresh listings and stuff that got categorized the night before. And so you want to know what kind of camera you want, what lens you want, and have those links or the search or whatever ready to go. Because I've had, and they say it doesn't happen because of whatever, but I've had where I put something in my cart. I am signed in. I am going to get the other thing and add that to my cart. And by the time I get to checkout, somebody is missing because somebody else bought it. And I'm like, how? I had this happen with the A6600 before, and it is so like frustrating and like, holy crap, weasel. So now you got to go to another site and start all over. But that's a good way to be able to get the stuff first, the best prices and stuff like that. So that's what I do, especially B&H and like Adorama and stuff like that. I've had it happen with Adorama as well. And they're like, no, once you have it, then you have it. But it's like, I don't know. But I've had stuff come up missing in my cart, say that much. I say your video on A6400 helped me a lot. Thank you very much. My pleasure. My pleasure. Glad to be of service. Setting Sigma f1.4 using the f1.8 aperture. Okay, so then at that point, I would say lighting. If you're using the A6400 and the Sigma 16 millimeter lens, okay, it has the f2.0 or lower. So it is going to be with the blurry background, and it's a sharp lens. I have one sitting right here. I'm looking at it. So now we need to look at lighting. What is your lighting like? When you're analyzing lighting, and I did a video on lighting specifically, we can go and check that out. So if you go to the channel, now this video it's kind of hard to explain this stuff on camera, and especially if you don't know what the hell I'm talking about and it's new to you. And so I did the best that I think that I could at the moment. So if you go here, let's go over here. Let's just do light. So how I light my home office for videos. I go into all the things. I have since changed it just a little bit, but the more or less the stuff is still the same, in that I go through and I tell you, this is what it looks like before. And this is like, you just see, it looks like whatever. And this is what it looks like afterwards, how I actually dial it in. I'll set the camera up. I'll put the settings to where I want them to be, like the f1 point. So let's say as f1.4, f1.8. Fine. I'll put that exactly where I want it to be. Then I now need to look, where is light coming from? I have a window that would go from brighter to darker and stuff like that, even with having blinds and having the blinds closed. But it's like, I want to be able to control the light. So I have 2 LED panels by Viltrox, and I closed the blinds. I just recently put up like the, what do you call it? The, whatever, the static clean ability to tint the windows. So I did that so that they're removable. But those are there. So the windows are now tinted to a point to where it don't matter how bright it is. I am not now impacted by the daylight, but I was. So I had to sit the camera there and then sit there and be like, okay, this is the shot that I want. A little bit of a bookshelf, a little bit of that bookshelf. Nothing special. So now I get the camera positioned the way I want. Where is light coming from? If I look at my face, do I get a ton of light over here? Because now I need to adjust the light over here. Then I sit the but the one light in front of me. It's always up and tilting down with diffusion material. It is never not going to be diffused. I'm never going to point an LED directly at my face, because not only do I get harsh spots where you'll see like usually around here and around here. So this nucleus part of your face, you'll see really bright white spots, and that sucks. But that lets you know, not only are you overexposing yourself, meaning that it's too bright, but the light's concentrating in those parts of your face. So you now need to get diffusion material. If you go to Diana.link / I think it's kit, KIT, Diana.link / kit, then you will see everything that I recommend usually for somebody that's getting started in video if you're an entrepreneur. And so you'll see the diffusion box, and you'll also see the light kit that I use. This is very cost effective. And even like Neewer has this, I think, for like $30 or something. But those are the diffusion panels that I use specifically so that I can put them over it and it's a softer light. And my lights that I use are exactly these. So I can also adjust the brightness and the temperature. If you want to know the specifics, I'm at 36% and 46%. So if I cut one light off, let's go over here. So you see how it is now, right? Now you see what cutting the front light off does. So you see now I can see where's light coming from, even if I cut one of the lights off in the back. So if I sat here and I said, oh, where is light coming from? Getting a little bit from the computer screen, nothing from the window, and just a little bit from the light that's on the side. If I even turn that one off, that's at 36%, 4,400 kelvins. Now the only light that's coming in here is coming from my computer light. So let's say that was the window though. Then I could close the window and now I don't have any light. But now I need to account for how bright this is going to be on my face. So now I want to turn on my front light. And if I only had the front light on, even if I turn the back ones on, just so you know that those aren't contributing to the how bright I am. So now you see, and this is fine for some people, and it's fine in general. There's no ceiling light on either. The other thing is now, this is at 46%. It's diffused. It's taller than the camera, and then it's pointing down, and it's like I said, it's diffused. So now I want to turn this other one on. And you now see what that light does. So if I cut this other one off, you now can see what this light does, right? You can kind of see my hand starting to get a little bit of a glow, just a little bit along the shoulders, a little bit extra brightness versus when it's off versus when it's on. Now I add that and couple that with this light in front of me. And now you see, because it's going to cast light and it's going to spread it out. That's the point of diffusion material, is to spread it out and keep it soft. And that's how I achieve this look here. I don't try to do anything particular for my live streams or, and all of that. That may change. But for now, this is what I enjoy. But that's how I do the lighting and stuff. Saying A6400 with a dummy battery, I'm getting overheating signal towards the end of my church. What dummy battery are you using? I only use in my A6400 the Sony specific adapter. If you have a dummy battery in your camera and you are getting overheating signals, number one, is it a Sony branded dummy battery, or is it some knockoff whatever brand on Amazon? Do not use stuff that is going to overheat your camera, and it should not be overheating the camera. I almost never turn this camera off now. I just wanted to see if it could do it. Now it's been running for I don't even know how long. It is, and I've done this with other stuff too. The other thing is, do you have the temperature control thing? You go back to A6400 video that I did and just skip to that part. There's a part in there where you adjust it so that it doesn't get super sensitive, essentially. And so you turn on the like high temperature, whatever, so it doesn't show the icon just because it's warm, right? So it's sensitive, more or less sensitivity setting. So you turn that on. If you have that setting on and you're using a dummy battery, you need a new dummy battery ASAP. Do not continue to use that, because that is a fantastic way to short out your camera using stuff that's not right. Spend the extra dollars and get the Sony branded one for the A6400, because they actually have a Sony one. If you are using, let's see here. Shout out to the military that also ruined my stream on Social Media Examiner. Let's go here, power adapter. If you are using a Sony A6400 or the Sony A6100, A6500, 6300, 6000, A5100, any of those, it's a specific one that is by Sony. Was it the ACPW20 or something like that? That is by Sony. You can get those, I think, should be able to get them at B&H. Let me look real quick, just so I can see what price they are. It's usually like $100, but I would rather spend the money on the real thing if it's available than a third party thing, because I have shorted out a camera before and had to send it in for repairs because of using the whatever when I had one of my M50s back in the day. And now you stuck like Chuck. And it sucks because it costs more than that adapter does to just, yeah. So, and if you can't find one by Sony, I always go with that company Raisup or whatever it's called, RAEISSUP, I think it is. That's the brand I have used, because Sony doesn't actually make one for the A6600, unfortunately, but they do make it for the A6400, those smaller batteries. So you can get them, just switch that out if you're using a third party something. So I have the Bokeh. So it's Bokeh, if you're referring to the blurry background. I think that's what you mean. Saying I have 3 studio lights and a good controlled room. So let's take a look. See if I can find you on YouTube. Quite the name though, eh? Without a spot or blemish ministry. And let's see what we can do for quality's sake. All right. So I'm just going to pull up the channel, and you did come up by your name. So kudos to you there. Alrighty. Let's take a look here. And I'm not sure if this is going to be a live stream or not, but okay, so it is streamed. I was just looking at the time, and I was like, I don't know if that's going to be a live stream. So let that load for a second, just so I can get the quality to get up to like a 1080p, because I hope that you're judging that based on what you see and hopefully not the 1080p or what have you. So let's see, should be a 1080p. Okay, I'm not gonna play the music. You mute it. Okay, so from what I see, if we look at this video, more or less, minus this little desk lamp, and I can see why you're doing that. I think you're actively switching the pages, or no, that's just a thing. Okay. let's see. So far as I can tell, let me pause for the calls. The only thing that's overexposed, meaning that it's too bright, is your hand, because you have a direct light source. So any overexposures here is coming from that light source. Otherwise, though, from your face, if you got the Sigma 16 millimeter lens or whatever, you're getting, if you got it at f1.8, technically you could go down to f1.4 if you wanted the additional blur. You do have face detection on there as well on the A6400, so that's not a problem. The rest of your desk, all of that looks evenly exposed for what you're doing. I'm not really seeing a problem as far as the quality. I would check focus though, and just make sure sometimes if you have something in front of you, like you have like the mic, sometimes it may just check to make sure the focus is actually on you, is if it, because you got kind of like catacorner just a little bit. So just make sure. I would do some tests though, because more or less though, I don't see where there's a problem though with the video, honestly. More or less, you kind of evenly exposed for the most part. I can see where you have shadows here. So whatever that light source that's coming from this general direction is not diffused. So you got shadows showing up here, active shadows, not like a darker spot, but like active shadows. So something about the light source, like I can see that across here where you're getting that. So, I mean, you can lower the aperture. That'll give you more of a depth of field look. You can, which would also mean that you adjust the ISO on your camera as well. Bring that down. Diffuse whatever that light is potentially. That way you have you're more evenly exposed. So just probably get some diffusion there. But more or less though, your quality isn't bad. I'm not sure what you're using. If you're using like a standard or something, that should be fine. But yeah, that's the only thing I probably would do is like add diffusion, make sure you have the focus. I always go whatever the lowest aperture that the lens can do, depending on the look that I'm going for or what I'm trying to do, unless I want everything in focus. Most of the time I usually don't, because it's like a talking head kind of video. I will put it at the lowest aperture. So that lens can go to f1.8, it's f1.8. My lens can go to f1.4 on the Sigma, it goes to f1.4 unless I need to adjust it otherwise. So if I go to my channel, let's go to, where is one where? So this one. So this is a video where I used, now this one is obviously color graded and whatnot, but sharpness is not a factor over here. Let's go back to the beginning. So you still see it's a blurry background. Obviously, again, this is different because this is a edited video, and it's also color graded or whatever for the personal aesthetic that I prefer. So you'll see it kind of has more of a matte type of a look, but as far as the sharpness and the quality or whatever, like you still see a sharpness. The only active shadows are right here because of the diffusion I was using on the light, and you'll see that like across here. And I'm okay with that for the setup that I had at the as far as the other light. But other than that, you more or less see is still lighting coming from the same place. Quality and the sharpness though, this one's not recorded at the standard picture profile. But at the same time, it's like if you looked at the ones for the A6100, that's more or less the same thing as far as the sensor and stuff. But you got a good lens, you got a good camera. I just would more or less try to dial it in for your space. The number one thing though is always going to be even exposure. I'm always going for even exposure. So I am perfectly well lit. That means I don't have to have the camera ISO really up, super high and all of that. This camera is a little bit further away. On that other video we just watched, it's not. So I would just dial that in for your space though. Diffusion though as well. Since it's all about the bokeh blur. 100%. Saying this is Gold Prairie Life. Good to see you. Glad that you're here. Ooh, nice picture. Canada. Hey, Canada. Saying, hey, Panasonic in the house. You know what? Kim starts fights. Okay, I'm gonna remove her badge in a minute. for as a moderator, can be starting fights. I promise you. I used Panasonic. Okay, no shade. No shade. I used Panasonic. I had the G7, the GX8, the G85. So Panasonic is amazing brand. They just need to work on their autofocus. Super chat from the one and only Kim Buchan saying the pair character lifting some weight, saying keep it up. I appreciate you, Kim. Appreciate you saying okay, just what lovish shots in motion. That's dope. Saying sorry, I tried to delete my URL in case that wasn't allowed, but oh no, you're fine. You're fine. You're good. Gary Jones, appreciate you. Another character dropping the mic. Appreciate that so much. Thank you. Appreciate that. Another super chat from Filmtopia saying thanks for all the insight and the tips. They definitely contributed. I appreciate that. Thank you for everybody for the super chats. Y'all are the boss. Saying looks like camp. Yeah, that was before. I think it's the hub. I'll have to do some testing, but we'll see if I can get one in by the weekend. But we'll see. Saying I know a Sony is not freezing. No, that's the problem. I see myself in my camera. It'd be one thing if the camera itself was freezing, because the screen is only going to show what the camera is doing. There is that in between the cam link or whatever. The light's not blinking on the cam link, and that's a brand new one that I just got in the mail today. So the light's not blinking because I was talking to Doc Rock, and I was also talking to some other folks, but it's like, have you checked this? Have you checked that? And I'm like, yep. So we going through to see what it is, but so it's not the cable, it's not the cam link. Both of those have been replaced. It's not the camera, because if I look at the camera, I can see actively on the screen, autofocus is still working. Everything else is still the same. And I've on my Panasonic GX8 back in the day, that actually did freeze. And so when you would look at the screen, you saw the freezing on the screen. So if your camera is actually the source, you'll see it on there. So I'm looking, it's never happened, which is why I don't see, because I don't look at the actual replay of the thing at the moment. So the only thing in between now is the docking station. So I'll replace that. Hopefully I can get one in this weekend, and we'll see. But that just started happening like this week, which again, this one that I had or have heats up like a freaking hot plate. So I knew at some point, I'm like, this mug ain't gonna last, but we'll see. So we'll see what's what with it. But man, I'm like, so then I gotta go through that again, but we'll see. Saying I recommend the Cal Digit. It's solid, as does Doc. So I'll check it out. So appreciate, saying incredibly helpful. Thank you. My pleasure. Saying I just created our first short. Well, kudos to you, St. News Network. Good to see you. But yeah, the shorts is interesting. It's an interesting form of content. I'll put it that way. Saying I have an Ecamm question. How do I treat Zoom speakers like a guest in Ecamm? Well, you can bring them into Ecamm using the interview link, but if you have Zoom open and you want to make Zoom a part of the Ecamm thing, you now need to do a couple things, because you also need to bring the audio, which means that you need to use a software tool it's more to it than just a little bit, but you would need to use a software tool so that Ecamm and Zoom and your audio source and all that stuff plays well together. It can be heard. Maybe that would be helpful if I did it in the video, because it's going to be hard to describe that. But you would need to make sure that those hear each other, and then you can just bring them in. So let's take a look here. I can show you an example-ish of what that would be like. So if I go to, let's say I want to do this side by side. Oh, because I changed this. My bad. Let me change this. I switched from the 4K to the 1080p. So, all right, let's go through here. All right, so now you're seeing my behind the scenes. And just to explain what I did there, if you go to the pencil tool, like you can switch between who the guest is. And since I updated Cam Link today, I didn't expect to bring a guest on, so I didn't update that. So that's that. But this fills in the blank for me. And let's say instead of this being a person for like the interview link, because I can switch from here and make it any of the guests or another one of myself. So in the interview mode, this is what you would select. But what I would do is make this a blank space, or have a space as if I was just doing a guest or whatever, and let that be the Zoom person, because you can bring this in through like a share screen. So I probably would do like some kind of overlay that's relative or specific to what I'm trying to do, the same way that I do this. Did I move that? No, that's a different one. This one. So the same way I do this one is I form my screen share and myself to fit within this. So instead of this being a interview or screen, I would change this to be Zoom or something. So now it could be you and the other person. And now you just need to get the audio and stuff to play well together. But that's what I would do. I would build something that works well for me and another person. So even like this one, all of these need to be changed. So I'll show y'all, because this is another Ecamm specific thing. So I changed my cam links. So right now you're just looking at the back of the internet window. So you go over here to the pencil tool. This is where it would have said like the regular cam link, but now it's the cam link 4K. So I switched that, and now I'm back in my regular placeholder. Okay. So, and this is also too how you can do interview link and a Zoom person, so everybody hears each other together. You can do a setup like this. So it's me. It may be a person that is coming in through the interview link. And then this, instead of it being an interview window, let's say this is the Zoom window up here. And so this just shows the primary display or my secondary display, which would be the screen that you're seeing right now, or it could be Ecamm. And this specific thing, it could be Finder or Google Chrome, and Zoom would pop up in that drop down there. That's what I would do personally, simply because I like having something that looks like I purposely brought you in that kind of way. So like if somebody comes into the interview, then I instantly go to this scene when I bring them in, because I want to make it look like you're supposed to be here versus it just being like black and bare and stuff like that. Like I want to, you know what I'm saying, have something that's an aesthetic that fits. That's what I personally would do. My personal opinion around that. But you would need, so you have to forgive me, I can't remember right now. I already did a video because I had to send it to somebody on how to do that. But there's a software tool that you would need to connect Zoom to Ecamm so everybody can hear each other and stuff like that, because it gets more technical than a little bit. So, but yeah, that's what I would do if you're needing to integrate Zoom and Ecamm and stuff like that. In that way, you're bringing them in kind of like a guest and some other stuff. And there goes the freaking, I think it's this hub. That's the only issue, or that's the only one. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to throw that thing in the trash right back after these messages. Well, we got some music interludes today, like the news, don't we? So here's pro tip, as we're going through this, y'all obviously hearing me go through this in real time. Here's what I'm going to do. Throw that thing in the trash and buy something else. But this is also good where you have the be right back screens and little musical interludes that help when something does go berserk. But I'm going to test that on my other computer because I'm pretty sure that's the common denominator. So we'll see. So I'll let y'all know how the CalDigit works versus this other thing. And maybe you too can save some money on not dealing with the whatevers. Saying CalDigit for the win. Yeah, it's getting high recommendations. We'll see how it goes. Saying, yes, I need to diffuse better on the face pointing. You know what? Let me see if I can pull this in for Well, I did the video, so let's not go down a rabbit hole. That's exactly where I was going. Saying, what's your the internet upload speed? So I use Ethernet, and I also have Wi-Fi on. I don't know. Let's see. It was fast. I pay for gig internet speeds. If that helps. But as far as, let's see, I'll do a quick one real quick and see what that comes out to be as far as that. So I'm at, for download, it's still, it's going over 350, getting close to 400. So some is saying like averaging 360. And then I'm hitting, this is on Wi-Fi currently. This is pushing 31, 32 megabits per second. 33 is still going up. So 34, about 34 megabits per second on the upload. And then the other thing also is when you look at, if you're trying to like decide like the what to do, that's the other thing with like picking docking stations and hubs and stuff, and why that's important is because if you pick one that is, it doesn't allow for, let's say, like, so I'm paying for faster internet speeds, right? If you buy a docking station that can't handle that, you will notice that you're not getting what you're paying for. Sometimes it's dependent on the area, but if you pay for it and like your service offers for you to go to like gig internet speeds or whatever, the other kind of thing, when you test it from Wi-Fi and then turn your Wi-Fi off and test it to Ethernet, you should be able to see a significant difference between the two when you're testing your speeds. So if you're not getting what you're supposed to, you'll obviously get the best plugging directly into the computer if it's still possible, but most of the time you need some kind of hub or docking station. Then sometimes the hubs do matter. That's why it pays to sometimes get the better brand. But this is one by Anchor, so it's not like a no whatever name brand, but you know, saying God bless you, guilty as charged with the Amazon knockoff dummy battery. Hey, we all have our crosses to bear, you know, it is what it is. So we also have Kevin Cox in the house. Hello everyone, I'm late to the party. No, you are right on time, brother, right on time. Saying, if the live stream is pixelated, is that all internet connection, or is that anything you can do equipment wise to correct? So if your internet is pixelated, it's one thing if you're viewing it, it's another. Like, that's the thing with testing. You want to remove as many applications that could be factors to that and do bare bones testing. So if I'm noticing that, let's say I am getting the pixelation, which is like those, you look blocky, essentially kind of like Minecraft and stuff. If I'm noticing that I'm blocky, now I want to do tests. So like unlisted YouTube tests, and I want to see what's going on. The other thing is that, so like I'm doing this live stream in real time right now. And if I go though to, let's say, click on the live stream for myself, and I'm waiting for this to come up. And for all of you that prejudged me, or also to say how many internet tabs I had open in your heart, okay, I hear you. No, I'm just kidding, but no. So let's go here. This is the live stream, right? So let's say this was a dummy test live stream and it was unlisted, so nobody could see it. If you right click and then you look on stats for nerds, up here, you'll see if you had any frames drop in the midst of you doing what you're doing, and all some other stuff, or whatever the case is. Because if you notice you have a significant number of drops and stuff like that, then you want to take a look, like something is off. Again, this stream specifically is on, today is on Wi-Fi connection or whatever, but the backup is Ethernet. So it's never going to just like completely drop. It'll switch between the two if something happens. And even when it's in a reverse, and Ethernet is first and then Wi-Fi as the backup. But it just depends on sometimes like just different stuff as to which one I choose. But more or less, I'm always connected in via Ethernet. So I have, no matter what, a hardline internet service. But you're going to have delays to an extent from me saying it to you hearing it. You know, it's like, so you're going to have a delay. So you say, hey, hit number one, or put a thumbs up in the chat, then it'll be a second, like seconds that you'll see before those come in. But if I'm noticing pixelation, like if I'm watching that back and I'm trying to see like, man, what happened to the stream? Why did it fall apart? And, from pixelation kind of a thing, I'm going to check the stats for nerds to see how many frames dropped and what I'm looking at and what happened. The other thing is, like, if you go out completely, the audio goes too. So if my internet completely went out, then you wouldn't be able to hear me. It would be both the video and the audio. Like when you're listening to podcasts and live streams where somebody else are there and you see them freeze and you hear the audio go away as well. You know what I'm saying? You know that their internet and stuff like that drop. But, it's kind of like you want to diagnose that from that standpoint. To make sure it's not a quality issue, though, you can open up something like QuickTime on your computer that is not internet based or nothing. It's just on your computer. And record. Even if you're just sitting there working and you're trying to test to see if it maybe is the camera settings and lighting and stuff like that that's giving you a fuzzier look than normal or what you expect, just sit there and record, work, and let the camera record and stuff like that. And then just scroll through and watch the video and see what you notice. Because sometimes I notice people are out of focus or slightly out of focus, or instead of it being on the face, maybe they don't have face detection turned on or enabled for whatever reason, and the focus is back here. So this back part of the microphone is focused, but they aren't. And I'm like, okay, your focus is off. What's up with that? And so then we dissect from there. What is going on, Eric? Good to see you. Glad that you are here. Without a spot or blemish, saying thank you so much. My pleasure. Saying, are Elgato lights diffused? No. They will have a screen on it that is kind of blurred, if you will. Frosted is more or less the thing. It'll look frosted, but it ain't. It's still light panel straight on you. Diffusion is just that. It's a diffusion material that will show you. Let me pull back up. Go to dyna.link/kit. You can see what I'm talking about. So this is what I use. And this is actual diffusion material. It is soft. So that when the light comes through, the back here is where you'll have like your panel. And then it's soft, kind of puts you in the mindset of a shower curtain. And so it is a soft material that will soften the light and spread it out as well, which is why I prefer this kind of a shape. So when you put that on there, it now spreads it out. It's not direct. It's kind of the difference between a flashlight versus when you turn on a room light. The flashlight has a centralized focus point for lighting. The room light is going to cast light out, and that's why those globes are frosted that you see in the ceiling, so it can more evenly share that light source out. That's also just showing that it's a reflective material along the sides so that you kind of get a little bit more. But it makes a huge difference. It makes a huge difference if you're going from if I took these off and just had it all, it'd be this night and day difference. What's going on, brother Doc Rock? Good to see you. Glad that you are here. Alrighty. It's going up Simply Obs. Good to see you. How you gonna say hi to Doc before you say hi to me? What is this about? No, just kidding. Saying hook the cam link directly into the Mac, not the docking station. Well, here's the thing. Number one, I've always done that, so that's not the problem. And then even if it is, it's still gonna be a problem because that's just the way my setup is. Number two, yes, I could do that, but I'm not. And that's just a personal preference. And I've tried with some other stuff. You also got to make sure you have compatible and good little things from that to USB-C. That's not the problem. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, and here's the thing. The fact that the docking station also needs to be replaced is going to impact other stuff in my workflow. So it's like, number one, I get it for like, I could do it for today or in the meantime, but I'm just not going to, because this is the last time I'm probably going to go live for maybe about a week or so. Like, I don't have anything to where I need to pop on live within the next, 3 to 4 days or something like that. So I got time. So, but number two, my workflow means it goes into the docking station. That's just how my personal workflow is set up. So even like I've tried it, put it in, it's like, ain't happening. So let's see here. Saying my 4 cam links are all into the OWC Thunderbolt 3 dock. So that's the other one. I couldn't think of what it was called. They helped me out in the chat with the other one. OWC Thunderbolt 3 dock. This is, and if you guys don't know Doc Rock, he has, if you click on his profile and you go to his channel, Doc talks about this a lot as far as the technical side when it comes to the docking stations and the hubs and stuff like that. He does a really good job when it comes to this. I'm trying to think, is this the one, Doc, that you were talking about? Is it this one here, or was it a different one? But I think it might, I don't remember seeing USB, not USB, but the SD card slots on there. But this is the thing. Here's why this matters, because getting one that works for all of what you need to, like, I don't want to do the fiddliness or whatever. So I'm glad it's going out, because that means it's going to impact other stuff. When I plug my SSD drive into there, that's portable. So when I go from here to, let's say I'm hanging out with my parents and I want to take something with me, and I need that SSD drive, you know, I'm going to get different speeds. It's going to impact, you know, with the SD card if I use it or whatever, or put one in there. So it's like you need it for other stuff in addition to having like an Ethernet port and stuff on there so you can connect. So it has one where you can connect all the different stuff on there. So this one looks pretty good. I'll see which one Doc recommends, and I'll go through his link and help a brother out. So that's the other thing. If you got creator friends, support your creator friends. Like when I buy something, I usually go find like whoever recommended it or helped me with it, and I'll go to that link. Even some of y'all sometime, and you don't know this, I will go to if you're a creator and like I've looked at your channel or something, like you making content or you made a video on something that I thought was helpful or whatever, sometimes just to help somebody out, I'll go through their affiliate link and make a purchase through the whatever. So never know who's buying through your stuff. What's up, Jay? Good to see you. Saying love the content. Have you reviewed the Elgato Wave 3 mic? No. Not even on my radar. Because I'll tell you some stuff. Let's take a look. Elgato Wave 3. I never will. It's a condenser mic. I hate condenser mics. So I can tell you right now, I would never, it'll never be something I even look at, because y'all hear the freaking jets that are not supposed to fly like that today. They're going ham out here in these streets every so often. But the fact that it's a condenser microphone, here's where this gets a lot of people caught up, because they said it's for streaming, recording, and podcasting. This will never make it to my house. Not because it's USB. I rock the Samsung Q2U via USB 4 forever, but I never will get this because my environment doesn't make sense. One, the room is not sound treated, so if I clap, like I can hear it bounce, 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 bounce all over the place. But in this microphone, you're not going to hear the slap back from all of the different hard surfaces in the room. That one, you'd hear everything, just like I got. You can't see it in this video frame, but I have the Rode. What is it? Which ones did we get, Doc? The NTG Mini, Rode NTG Mini. That one ain't gonna make it. Like I've been testing it out. I'll do some videos around it. For me personally, though, it's not gonna make it. Or even as a recommendation, it depends. I love a lot of what they're doing with the Rode Connect software. It is fantastic, and I do see the use case. It just never would be something for me, and I can see for certain people in other environments, even with the noise gate and stuff like that. Condenser microphones, honestly, they just suck if you're not in the right environment. It's just not built for what most people kind of are in, a random space in your house that you could afford to do a video or set up an office area. You didn't build it into a studio like this. I've been thinking about it too. What should I get for the sound panels and stuff? So that's an investment that I'm looking at doing, because it's annoying me right now with certain stuff, and I'm just looking at future content or whatever. But more or less, this is an office. It's an office, home office. But that microphone, I'd never look at it, just because it's a condenser mic. It's going to pick up a ton of noise, and it's just not going to sound fantastic. I could plug in that Rode mic and let you hear what that one is. That one's I believe like a condenser dynamic microphone or whatever. It sucks in my environment, in my space. What's going on, Vaughn Sanders? Good to see you. TBD saying thank you. You're most welcome. Loopback. Thank you, JP. That's what I couldn't think of the name. Loopback. There is a video that I did showing the how to do that. Not on the channel yet, but there is a video that I have recorded on how to do the loopback. So maybe I'll publish that to a regular video on the channel, so that can help y'all out. Saying so much loopback, and would you use NDI? I have used NDI. I actually have NDI kind of set up right now. It's just not a reason for me to use NDI a ton of times, but I could. So let's go, for example. Let's do this. So I'm going to pull up NDI. I like NDI a lot. I use the app NDX HX Capture or whatever, as well as NDI. NDI camera. Both of those are dope. But NDI works really well with that and Ecamm, and they make it almost seamless. So I'm going to pull this up on my phone so that y'all can see that. And you can see what NDI is like. Just getting this set up. Shout out to preview mode with the Ecamm Live, yeah. So let's go here. Actually, I'm thinking, I'll do it this way. All right. And then let's go to other apps that you are probably should have on your phone also. Filmic Pro comes in handy. All right. So now you see just like what's on my desk, which is a thing there. And this is wireless. No wires. You can see the light up there. Nothing going on. And you can see the LED light panel in there and all of that. So Bob's your uncle, right? So that's all when it comes to that. So NDI works great in Ecamm. Worth checking out, worth using, I think, for what you're trying to do for a lot of stuff. Sometimes when you just need to grab something and go. I like Filmic Pro in addition to the NDI for stuff like that, just to real quick check exposure, or let it do auto like it did so you could see the thing. But also just pulling more features out of your phone from a camera perspective. That stuff that you just don't have natively in your phone. I think those are dope for that. But NDI HX Capture and NDI HX Camera, I think that may be $5 app, maybe $10 app or something. So going on, Vaughn Sanders, good to see you. Glad that you are here. Wait, you got 2 pages? I know I ain't tripping. So it's like the 3rd time today. Must be something over here. I think it's just the docking station thing. Saying this is nice go P music. Saying recycle it. Right. Yeah, I didn't think about recycling. I'm just thinking in the trash you go and pour freaking old coffee grinds on top of you. I will recycle. So saying Caleb go on vacation. Saying my shift ain't over. So shout out to Caleb over at Ecamm. Greeting easily excellent. Good to see you. Saying great information as always for Soul Food Cooking. Appreciate you. Saying on my phone, I realized I had 157 open tabs the other day. Let me see if I can. How many do I have open? 48. I eventually got down to 8. Being specific and strategic, and somewhere that just stopped being a thing for me. So it is what it is. Saying the focus is off because ain't nobody using Panasonic. See, Doc over here starting fights. Nobody's using, or somebody is using, but that's not, never mind. Doc, we're not doing this. We're not doing this. Saying actually, Elgato lights are actually diffused. They are not as big. No, I'm saying they're not diffused from a sense that they don't have diffusion material. They have a frosted cover is not diffusion material. So it's a way to dampen the light a little bit, if you will. But when I'm saying diffusion is specifically a diffusion source external to the light. So they didn't come with a softbox kit on them. They just frosted the panel, if that makes sense. So even though the ones that I have, the panels You can get different kinds where the panel is frosted, or it kind of just is white, kind of makes you think like a white sheet of paper or printer paper. That is not enough diffusion to throw a hill of beans at. Like it's just not. So you would have to get an actual diffusion source, a sheet or something, like a diffusion sheet. You need to get a softbox, pop-up softbox light or something, or a portable one, or something to additionally diffuse it. So the fact that it's just frosted, covering over that's not going to be, that's why you get the harsher shadows. So like if I raise my hand over my shirt, you don't see any like active harsh shadows because the lights are diffused. If they weren't, you'd see it like it being in a flashlight. So that's the difference when you're looking at stuff like that. So that's the only thing. And so sometimes brands play on words, and when they're doing something, as a creator and as someone that's purchasing stuff for your environment, your space to do the job, you have to kind of know what you're getting into a little bit. So like these are the light panels that I'm talking about that I use. And if you look over here, that's frosted as well. Diffused in their terms that they may sell it under or whatever, but that is going to be a harsh light. It's never going to diffuse soft enough for what I would need for a video standpoint or use case or whatever. So the fact that it's frosted doesn't mean that it's diffused enough for me to use it in a sense where I would need to soften, not need to soften the light. So that's the deal there. Good to see you, M3 Live. Glad that you are here. Saying, hey now, Diana. I said hi to you first. No, just kidding. I was just messing with you. So I appreciate your streams and all the great content, great mentoring you provide, Diana. My pleasure, Chris. Glad to be of service. Saying this is what I mean for the meantime until your other doc. Oh yeah. That's going to happen. That like I said, I did that earlier with some other stuff though. But no, this thing goes. Like I'm good for after today's stream, which I was talking to Mr. Michael Stelzner over at Social Media Examiner afterwards. But it's like I'm gonna have to replace this anyway, so I got days, got some time. Saying, are we still live? I left and came back. Yeah, we're good. Doc, appreciate the link. Saying OWC Thunderbolt 4, as it's the same price as Thunderbolt 3, order directly from them. Yeah, that's the other thing, it's ordering from their site. So, yep, cool. Doc saying that the one that we saw was the one that he had. So that's cool. Alrighty. Okay. I'm just going through the comments, catching up on stuff. Saying, is the Elgato docking station, quote unquote, any good? That is a question better posed to Doc in the chat. He's the docking station man. He has a ton of them. So saying, I am still waiting on my CalDigit. 1.5 months. Holy moly. Well, maybe it'll come soon. I know some people were getting theirs in the mail, so hopefully it'll come soon. Saying the mic was a USB mic. That one. I don't have any qualms with USB microphones. Obviously, I wouldn't be able to use it in addition to my Rodecaster Pro, which is also another reason. But that wouldn't be like the determining factor of me not trying a microphone. For example, like I said, I'm trying the Rode NGG USB. So USB microphones are fine, in my opinion. You always will get, a cleaner sound through XLR, but sometimes that's what's needed. Sometimes you need a USB microphone, and depending on that person's flexibility and what they're needing, if they travel a lot and stuff like that, USB mics are dope. So I don't have no qualms with that earlier. Saying, how did you write on the screen earlier? That's in a Chrome application that's just called Page Marker. So Chrome has little Chrome browser apps that you can take advantage of, so you can write on the screen. I just have my mouse. So if you have a pad or, something like that, a writing pad, you could probably use that too. But I just use the mouse for the little bit that I need it for. Saying, I see. Thank you for your insight. My pleasure. Saying, I just got my M1 Mini yesterday and downloaded Ecamm. Anything in particular I should focus on to start live streaming? Any need to know items? So first things first, do a test live stream before you actually need to do your real deal Holyfield live stream. because a lot of people wait until all the things come in, may hook it up and look at it real quick. You need to do some exhaustive tests of your live stream. And that doesn't mean dedicating an hour to only doing that, but like run it. So if I'm sitting here working, then maybe I leave the microphone on and occasionally saying stuff. You got whatever music playing in the background, whatever you normally would do. But when I'm testing stuff, I need at least an hour test to see if it's working. And I need to actually be in the frame versus just letting it play whatever, to the corner that doesn't have anything. Because I can't tell, did it stutter or did it get stuck, right? If I was only testing, let's say, this docking station for the first time and it froze like it's been doing throughout the stream, there's nothing moving for me to tell that it froze. I just would think, oh, it showed the image the whole time. It was fine. No, it didn't. It messed up. So for me, I need to do an exhaustive test. For me, it's at least an hour, no less, where I'm sitting there and I got it going and it's just running with activity in the thing to see how well it performs. So if you're just getting your M1, hook your mics up, get your lighting stuff, get everything dialed in and run a test stream. One, just to make sure everything runs, but actively test though too. What happens when you bring on the guest? So I don't have a guest on right now, but if I turn the switch on so I could fill in the blanks, if you will. So I'm doing my screen share and I'm actively seeing, can I actually go up here and see and underline and da-da-da-da-da, and you can see that the same way too. From scene to scene, did I make sure that the audios are exactly the same as well? So if I show you the behind the scenes here for Ecamm, am I muted? I might be accidentally muted on this scene and not on the other. But if you're not actively talking, you would never know. So you would come over here thinking everything is fine and it's not. And then I come here. If I'm bringing on a guest, I also want to make sure things are applicable. So when I go from one scene to the other, I'm expecting different types of things to happen. So I have here and I have a guest. I would bother Doc or somebody else that I know and say, hey, what you doing? Don't matter. I need to test this. Hop on with me for a minute. And then we wind up talking for like 2 hours. But that whole time I'm running like maybe an unlisted stream, or I'm recording at least natively in the app so that I can see how well it works. Did I adjust the audio for Doc so that he's perfectly, sounding well? Or did I need to turn it down? And not just up here either. When you bring a guest in, stuff is different. So run tests, run exhaustive tests. The other thing is like, okay, I go from that scene to the next scene. What would I actually do in a live stream? All this is stuff that I would actually do in a live stream. So I'm testing everything before the day comes when I actually need to go live. So when the new docking station come in, I will do active tests exactly like I talked about. I want to test the internet and Ethernet speeds on Wi-Fi, and I want to test it comparative to the Ethernet port that's on there. I'm going to bulldoze the hell out of everything it has, from USB to everything. I'm going to hook everything up and see how it can run. So test all your stuff. So that's what I was saying. And again, congratulations on getting the M1. 13,000 subscribers. Hey, yes, I did hit that today, actually. So shout out to me. So appreciate that. Alicio saying, yeah, the frosted panels that are almost the source don't really diffuse much. Yeah, it is not diffusion. And like I say, frosted, two totally different things. The Elgato LED light panels, they're the same thing. They're frosted. The light source, though, has not been diffused. It makes a difference. Saying, so why are you leaving for a week or so? Are you switching to dark? Excuse me. First of all, don't come to the stream saying bad words like dark chocolate. Number two, okay? No, I'm not leaving for a week. I'm just saying I don't have to stream for the next several days. That's what I was saying. I didn't say I'm leaving nowhere. So Elgato Thunderbolt dock working well with the M1 Mini, Rodecaster Pro, 2-camera, laptop feed, Samsung TV. That's fantastic. So that's excellent. That's excellent. Okay. Just scrolling through. saying, got to get back to teacher mode, nap time, and all the things. Thanks for entertaining me during break. Well, glad to be of service, Kevin. Have a fantastic day. Hope you're having an awesome one. So, Doc over here, y'all in Hawaii, forget y'all. It's like 2 o'clock. It's not even, it's like still Monday over there. They're not even on a regular time zone, whatever. And so, I'm not listening to Doc. All right, so we're good to go. Thanks for joining the stream, everyone. I hope you enjoyed everything that you've seen, heard, learned, and hopefully this stream helps you out and helping you through YouTube and all the things in between from that and Ecamm as well. I'll let you all know how the docking station, the new one, works out. Maybe do a little review on it. Not much to check for it other than just to initial impressions, I guess, initially, and then see over time how well it works out. But with that, guys, with passion, I'll see you on the next video here on the channel. Peace out.